You know what it is? The seed talk, stuff that make your seeds walk. Yo, I'm back with the Orishas, the queens, the goddesses. You know what I mean? I got Danny, my co-host here, guest co-host, and then we got the staple, the anchor. We got Precious. We're gonna have a real good talk today. Gonna get real interesting, man. That's why I had to set the mood a little bit differently today. You know what I'm saying? In my safe space, over here, because I feel like they coming for us, brothers. I feel like coming for us, and I'm all about holding Black men accountable. But at the same time, we got to put things in perspective and and see it multiple different ways. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's get a little something out of the way. This is Seed Talk. I'm always going to encourage y'all to share and comment in the YouTube world. Please make sure that you are banging that subscribe, you're liking this, and you're getting those algorithms going. Like I said, one of the easiest ways to support a Black business is a podcast. Push play, walk away. It all gets recorded, man. You feel me? So a little bit more things. Hey, man, make sure y'all donating. Hit me in the Cash App, Venmo, and whatnot. This is our time. And also, for we broadcasting on here, it's not free because I got to pay for StreamYard, unfortunately. Aww. But one more thing, man. We got on my little ticker down below, we have some events coming up, some experiences. We got a creative kickback, which is going to be December 16th. If you're in Seattle, Washington, at the Jackson Street Apartments, and that's going to be from 3 to 7. We're going to have some music, food, drink. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to have an open mic and stuff if people want to get on the mic and do some spoken word poetry and whatnot. We're just building community. And that is in preparation for grand griot party experience at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute in the historic Central District of Seattle, Washington. Doors open at 8 p.m. January 13th. January 13th, doors open at 8 p.m. at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. The kickback, it's a little $10 donation or suggested donation for that. But the griot party experience January 13th is actually the admission is freedom. It's free. You're going to have to get your tickets and reserve them now because space is going to go fast for that. So it's going to be a celebration of stories and relationships. We're going to be celebrating communities like the Central District. And also we're going to be recognizing and celebrating 50 years of hip hop in Seattle, Washington. So it's going to be dope.
What was your last griot experience? What
happened now? What'd you say, Danny?
What was the last one like? What did you do?
The last one was dope. It was last year, February 2023. We brought in 2023 during Black History Month, and it was dress up like your favorite Black cultural hero. So I came as, one of the members of the Black Panther Party. We had some people in there, Angela Davis, of course. It was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. That was at the Hiawatha Lodge in South Seattle. So that was dope. Shout out to Miss Flows, who, donated her space there at the Hiawatha Law. It's a special law for artists there. But anyways, let's get into what we're gonna be talking about today. And I'm gonna let Danny and I'm gonna let Precious, go ahead and get started. Because we're gonna be talking about interracial relationships. We're gonna be talking about brothers like Johnathan Majors. There seems to be a little, some theories out there. After Johnathan Majors has this controversial relationship with this white woman that include criminal charges and allegations, he goes and he gets with Nia Long. No,
Megan Good. But Jeezy trying to get Nia Long, but go ahead. I'm going to add him on there too.
Right.
Because I'm getting my crushes mixed up.
Right.
And I got a crush on both of them. But he gets with Megan Good. We know who Megan Good is. She was in that very high profile marriage, Christian marriage, where they, I got the book. I read a little bit of their book that she wrote with her former husband called The Wait. That was interesting. Guess they couldn't wait to get divorced. So
well, you said it, not me. You said it, not me.
That is a great topic, by the way. I would love to have that topic about the 90-day rule and do marriages and relationships last longer the longer you wait to have sex and all that. I would love to have that episode
because get somebody else to do it.
You said what?
I said get somebody else to do it. I cannot speak to that. I've never been married. I don't have an opinion on that.
I've never been married. I don't have kids either, but I sure.
Married. You've been in a committed relationship before, so you can have the conversation if you so choose.
I've never been married. Look here, sis. I ain't got kids. I'm not married too, but I sure got an opinion about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely got an opinion about that one.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there that say that the longer that you wait, that it increases the quality of the relationship in the long run. So. Anyway,
I would say sex cloud judgments a lot, and I think it's best that you do not get sexually involved with them too soon into a relationship, especially if you're trying to look for something long term. I wouldn't advise it. Me personally, I don't think 90 days is long enough, but that's just me. That's just me. I do not think 90 days is long enough, especially if you haven't been consistently dating that person the whole time.
No, I hear you. I always think about like the elders in our community. We look at our parents and our grandparents, how they waited to their marriage, to their wedding to have sex. And then they go on to have long lasting dysfunctional and toxic relationships.
Well, you got to think about it. The social pressures back then is a lot different than it is today.
Exactly. And there's social pressures even to this day. It's just in different ways. You feel me?
It is in different ways, but
we got social pressure, from the Steve Harveyites that, make them wait 90 days while he has like 7, 8, 9, 10, failed marriages. Make them wait. Anyways, so I wanted Precious and Danny to jump in here. We were on a private chat last night. Bobby, myself, Precious.
Shout out to Bobby.
What happened?
Yeah, shout out to Bobby.
Big shout out to Bobby and his family and his son and daughter. Got to meet his son. And the assessment by Bobby, and I will definitely have to co-sign, was they going in on black men. And that's needed. That's needed sometimes, but I wanted them to, kind of just start this conversation organically because they got some theories out there. They got some conspiracy theories of what's going on with black men.
Boss, we are not going in on black men.
Exactly. We are not going on black men.
We were making an observation
when I see it.
Right. We're making an observation. Full disclaimer, we don't mind or care too much about interracial relationships. It's not that we're passing judgment on anyone who chooses to date outside of their race. In fact, I think we both agree that it's getting to a point where you might have to start considering dating out of your race. That's full disclaimer, but we made an observation. Precious actually put something in the chat, which stemmed the conversation. I guess you would have to say what prompted you putting that into the chat first and foremost. You were just kind of.
Let's see. I was kind of just going off. Shoot, I was going in. I'm trying to remember which one. I know we started with the Jeezy and Jeannie Mai.
I think actually you put the article or a link about Johnathan.
By Johnathan Majors. Okay, then let's just start with him and we just move down. Okay, for those who have not seen, apparently his ex white girlfriend or whatever he was dating. Apparently
Grace Jabari.
What's her name?
Grace Jabari.
What kind of last name is that? Okay. So this Grace Jabari apparently played a audio for the trial or whatever they at. Granted, I don't know the purpose of this audio, but nonetheless, apparently he basically was going to her, long story short, about how, I guess, where she was behaving or whatever, playing with the dog or whatever. I guess she wasn't behaving, and he had some interesting choice of words.
Right.
That he said that he finds himself a man of culture. He's great. He finds himself to be a great man. And he is about his culture. Okay, we're going to stop there. Then he goes on to say, you need to act like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King. Now, I'm just paraphrasing, there's more to it. But the point I'm just getting at is, I find it interesting that he expects this white woman that he chose, by the way, to be his partner, to use a black woman to be the standard for how he wants her to behave. And he ain't just choose any random. These some, look at Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King. They're like top tier black women.
Right.
Like, these women are in our history books type of woman. That's a hell of a standard to live up to for a white woman who already probably feel privileged as it is to follow behind the steps. And I couldn't help but wonder, like, damn, he didn't mention Jackie O, which I was kind of surprised that Bobby didn't know who I meant by when I meant Jackie O, because that's the only Jackie O I know of. But I said he didn't mention Jackie O. He didn't mention Hillary Clinton. He ain't mentioned who else I had mentioned. He since she an actress, she ain't say nothing. He ain't say nothing about no damn Meryl Streep. He ain't say nothing about no Anne Hathaway. I said I find it so interesting. He chose two elite black women for her to be like, and I'm sitting thinking, why would you give her such a high standard, knowing that's not who she is?
Right.
Like, I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because that's not who she is. So I mean, I know Bobby was thinking from a legal aspect, like maybe she just looking for some particular characteristic that those two special women possess. Okay, cool. Cause he could have just said that. Why don't you be classy? Why don't you dress up or whatever? But he said those particular women as if the black woman is a standard. But okay, let's say we are a standard. That's not what your partner looks like. That's not what you invested in. And relations to me are investments. That's not your investment. So what is about this white woman that made you invest in her that apparently she was lacking the qualities of those two elite black women? Where's the connect? I'm trying to figure where's the connection here. Like, where's the connection here? Because I don't see it. You could use any that other elite white woman he could have compared her to that she could have, have some sort of relation to. But you chose those two particular women? Shit.
I think that when you that's a very interesting comment to make as a black man.
It is. It is kind of weird. I'm like,
the
that's
first thing that comes to mind is, with me, is this is the reason why I can never allow a white person, a white woman, in the personal, intimate institution that I call Logic Got Men in a relationship. Because I would know and feel that there is going to be a recording device throughout our whole relationship. I'm going to have to watch what I say, watch what I do. This white woman is going to directly and indirectly interfere and disrupt my healing as a black man. I already got enough healing that I need to do black people, specifically a black woman, when getting in a relationship with. I ain't got time to be getting in a relationship with a white woman and then saying something just flip it, saying something off cuff, just being casual, and then had it used against me. Like, first of all, it hits different when a white woman records a black man.
I was gonna say that's what they do, but yeah.
That hits different. Black woman will do it too. It just hits different when a white woman does it. Because now we're having this conversation. If he was dealing with a black woman, we would still be having a conversation, but we would be having a different conversation that's a little bit more comfortable for my healing process. Because he could still be in that same conversation with a black woman and she be acting up and cutting up, and he would have called her ratchet. Why aren't you acting like, you know what I'm saying, being presentable like Michelle? Why aren't you being presentable like a Coretta Scott King? Why aren't you being presentable and acting civilized like a Betty Shabazz? It's still going to be a conversation, but it's a conversation that's more beneficial to my healing than having this conversation about why you comparing and aligning a white woman with two historic and legendary Black women. It's just odd.
It is odd.
And then he goes after that, and then y'all gonna sit there and wonder why he goes and seeks a Black woman, you know what I'm saying, as damage control. He better. When you go out into the world and you get your butt beat as a Black man, it's very natural to run home to your mama. Help. And it's very natural for that Black woman to say, okay, baby, I told you. Just like it's very natural for a Black woman to be like, man, I'm tired of these Negroes. I'm about to get me a white boy. You go over there to the white boy, and he going upside your head while he listening to Twisted Sister, Def Leppard, and some, you know, and Nirvana. Ain't nothing changed but the music in the background. Sometimes the music in the background ain't changed. And it's very natural for you to run to your Black brothers and say, hey, man, go put hands on this white boy. And they be like, we got you, sis, but I told you so. So for me, I understand the differences when it comes to gender. I understand the power dynamic changes with Black men because we have a closer proximity to power. That's changing a little bit, you know what I'm saying, with Black women being, you know what I'm saying, the highest rising, you know what I'm saying, demographic for business owners and whatnot, and, you know, college educated and a lot of other things that indicate more success than Black men. They ain't going to prison like we are. But we can go back and forth and play the trauma Olympics, but I don't want to do that. My point I'm trying to make is we have an issue as a people of how we love each other. Now, I'm not trying to be insensitive and being dismissive. We can sit back and we can talk for 2 hours about how Black men navigate the interracial world and how out of pocket it is and how, you know, why some Black men get with white women, and it's just dang right clumsy, irresponsible, and just silly. It is, because I didn't heard it from a lot of Black men why they get with white women, and it's straight disrespectful to everybody involved. Oh, I'm gonna get with a white woman because they're easier to deal with. I'm gonna get with this Asian woman because this is that and the third. I'm gonna, you know, and I'm like, bruh, this is awkward. What's your relationship with your mama? That's what I want to talk about, and your daddy. However, at some point, Black women gonna have to go home and talk about how sisters do the same thing, maybe at lower rates, maybe at a lower percentage. But this is an issue that we have as Black people.
I'm still trying to figure out, okay, if the Black woman is the one that's like, okay, you don't went over there, now you want to come back, I'm going to brush you up and clean you off. And we're so loving and you can come back in like a revolving door. Where's the problem with the Black woman exactly? What?
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. If Black women are so problematic, why on earth would you come back to me to heal you once you get hurt? I guess what you're trying to get at, Danny. I heard some Black women say that.
Well, also, I want to hear some examples specifically from Logic when you say the problem is how we love one another. If we're the ones always picking up the pieces, where is the issue exactly with Black women? Not saying we don't have any, but you got to point them out. I don't understand.
I wouldn't say that Black women are always the one picking up the pieces. I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if we really get deep into the weeds and get deep into the roots, we have multiple people breaking stuff. We have multiple people picking up the pieces.
To me, and y'all may disagree with me, I think the reason Black men date out, I don't think it's always the same reason Black women do it. I don't think it's always the same reason. I think this is just based on other Black women I have spoken with. I think some of them date out because they feel that they have to. Like if they really trying, especially if they're trying to looking to get married, or they're trying to have kids or whatever like that, and they looking in their within their community, and let's say they may not find a suitable black man for themselves, or whether the men they do a black man they do want, that black man may not want them. It kind of get a little, and then let them say there's more black women than they are black men. So again, it ain't too many enough black men for black women to date. So what do you expect those black women to do if that's what they look for? We ain't talking about the black women who are okay to be single. We ain't trying to do all that. We're talking about women who are truly really want to get married and have kids. Like, what do you expect these women to do? And I know for a lot of black men say, well, you're just gonna have to settle for one of these. Well, settle for one of these may come with a big ass sacrifice that may be a huge detriment down the line. Because remember, we're not too far from the poverty line. We're not too far from a lot of these things. Unfortunately, a lot of black women are. So when you put those things in perspective, I would see why a black woman would do it, but most black women still don't, or most black women still not opening to do it. Trust me, most black women still not opening to do it. But go ahead, Logic.
And that's a very good point you made, both of y'all. Why are they going to black women? Why are they going away from black women to begin with if they know where they're going to come back to them in the beginning? And I think a part of that is part of our trauma. Number one is because we always know that we can leave and come back.
Yeah.
That's a common trait, though, of any family member, though. I'm not saying that there's not no uniqueness with black men and black women. I'm not trying to be disingenuous and gaslight anyone. That is true. But that is also a uniqueness with any family member. That's why we hurt so bad when the person addicted to drug comes to your house and you got to tell them to keep clapping their hands while they're inside your house so they won't pick something up and leave with it. But there's a reason why we allow them to keep coming in our house every single time they steal something, because they know that we'll take them back. That's why they keep stealing a lot of times. So this is a family trait.
So basically, we're an enablers in a sense.
What'd you say?
So basically, we're enablers to us. At least black women, we're kind of enablers.
No, I wouldn't even say. See, I'm going to take the different path. Y'all can isolate black men and black women. This is a black people, black community problem. And I think it's good if we stay on separate sides, because I think we get more accomplished that way. But I really do think this, number one, we have to understand that this is designed. There are actual designs put together to neutralize and destroy black folks. Just like there was COINTELPRO, there's a Monahan report that was put out.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Neutralize the black family. Just like COINTELPRO did black organizations. That's how King got killed. That's how Malcolm got murdered. That's how a lot of people got in prison. They did the same thing for our families. That's number one. Number two is the reason why people keep breaking stuff and then multiple people have to put it back together, because a lot of grandparents, let's not forget that, a lot of grandparents are raising people's children.
That is a fact. And you know, we need to talk about
it's not just the mama that messed up. It's not just the daddy that messed up. It's like a whole family that messed up. And the grandparents is taking care of the kids. So what we're looking at is a design. And when the black women, bless their souls, are raising people, raising these children without a father there, a lot of times, we are falling victim to the same racist institutions and racist designs that disrupt our value system. So they're raising human beings that they don't even want to be in a relationship with. We have to acknowledge the design first. We can't gaslight ourselves and be like, oh, we just some messed up, dysfunctional people by ourselves. No, man, there's people actively, and I'm not just talking about the welfare system where it say the black man can't be in the house for you to get benefits. But hey, that's a great place to start, because that caused a lot of dysfunction that we're still trying to recover from. But I'm just talking about how even they have to pass laws. We talked about this offline. You don't think this impacts our relationships when they have to pass laws so they won't penalize you and criminalize natural hair? They actually have to pass laws. And sure, that goes to all Black folks, but specifically, uniquely, that impacts Black women. They have to pass laws in California, and I think in New York State too.
I believe so, yes.
People are being criminalized for wearing natural hair. So then they change their hair so they can get a job. They change their eye color to get a job. They change the color of their skin. So then that brings even more scrutiny to from their loved ones. Now we got Black men that say, "Oh, you just trying to be like a white girl. Look at that blonde weave."
Mm-hmm.
This is by design.
Damn, I wore a blonde. I thought it looked good as fuck in it. I didn't think no more of it.
We're going to take your word for it. You did. But then there was some brothers out there saying, "Power to the people. You need to have an afro, sister. Stop being like those white women." You be like, my hair, I am not my hair. That's why N.D.I.R.E. made that song that was so powerful. For so many different women, for so many different reasons. But this is by design. I got my theory about why Black women get with white men.
What's your theory?
One of the theories is
security.
That's one of them. See?
I have another theory, and y'all gonna hate me for it, but somebody explained it to me. I said, you know what? Now that I heard it 2 years ago, and now that some time passed, I kind of see what that person talked. I think I saved that TikTok video. I gotta search through my photo album, and y'all gonna be mad about it. But someone said the reason why Black women, the very small amount of Black women who do get with white men, is because white men and Black women actually have some things in common.
Okay.
And what they did was, because like white men are really the highly educated in their community, so are Black women. White men are the backbone in their community is white men. Black women are the backbone in their community. So there is some parallel that they actually have something in common that they can relate to. And I could kind of see that, because I will also go and say, I think the thing that Black men and white women got in common is that they both share a trait that appeal to white supremacy. Black men got the male for them being a man, and the white woman got her skin. However, of course, not all the time those units work out, but that's what they said. That's the reason why a lot of time Black women, the small amount of Black women who do date out, get with white men. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Well, I can rock with that theory. That's one way to look at it. And if Black women are getting with white men because they're both educated and they're both the Black backbone of their community or their homes, then that means they're dating outside their race to get better treatment from someone that doesn't look like the men in their family.
Maybe.
No, that's exactly what it says. I don't want no ignorant, uneducated Black man. I'm gonna give me a white boy.
What?
Not necessary.
No.
I don't think that. Well, I don't know. That's about those particular Black women. I don't know. I don't know. Do poor women do?
But look, let me tell you how racism plays a part in that. Institutional racism, as a person who's an educator in the system. So we know that a person's intelligence is highly, highly impacted and indicated by their GPA, what they got on their SATs, how they scored standardized testing, how they scored on their IQ test, how they have been promoted through different economic institutions, if they have a high-paying job, if they make six figures. All these things are impacted by racism. All these things give privilege and benefits, unearned privileges a lot of the time to white folks, especially white men. So you running around here getting with this white boy thinking he's smarter because he got 2 or 3 masters, and Jerome and Malik don't even got a GED, or they went to a community college. Man, you don't know that Dakota, his parents didn't, you know what I'm saying, are alumni and paid for him to go to, school. For his years.
Okay, so in the reverse, why do you think I'm trying to? Okay,
He's not
why?
necessarily smarter.
I don't think it's necessarily about. I don't think necessarily about their intelligence level. I wouldn't necessarily go so far and say that. I'm just talking about in
Yeah, but
terms of social.
you said they get with them because they're more educated.
Yeah, I'm talking about in terms of social economics. That's where they touch. That's not necessarily mean they smarter in terms of them being more intelligent. Because we all
You'd
know
be
some dumb ass white.
surprised.
Well, Precious, you didn't get a chance to say earlier, because you said it was twofold. You think the reasons for women who go out and date outside of their race are different for the reasons that men would do it. So, what was your reasoning or belief for men who go outside of their race? And then, Logic, can you also answer that question?
I think with black men, a lot of times, I think it could be for. I ain't gonna say all of, but I think it's a good handful. It is a little bit of self hatred, a little bit. I think it's some of it played a big role in it, especially, especially a lot of them who don't hate to bring this up. Men who really don't like their moms,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they tend to run away from it. And let's not act like coloring is not a huge thing in our community. And most black women most black women, if they're not biracial, that is, are tend to be dark complexion. And I've noticed, even from my own personal experience, I have noticed a lot of black men do not like their dark skin. They do not like. I don't know. It could, again, it could be due to racism, whatever. But I think a lot of them think they want to erase it out of their skin, so they will go out of it and hope that maybe the kids won't look like me.
Mm-hmm.
They will look more closer to white, to that white proximity.
I agree
So
with
it's all about, and at the end of the day, I think it's heavily more in white proximity at the end of the day. Now, that's not to say I'm not talking about those who generally do love their non-black partners. This not applied to them. But I have noticed more often than not, a lot of times they do date them. It honestly don't be for a smart reason. At least it be for vanity reason that I think eventually those type of union usually dissolves quite early. But go
Yeah.
ahead, Logic.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you said that. That's real deep, but it's also simple, and it happens a lot more than you think. Angela Davis, if I'm not mistaken, tells the story about her grandmother or her great grandmother who was fair skinned and intentionally married and had children with a white man because she says she did not want her children to grow up, you know what I'm saying, with a darker skin color and be treated wrong. It was closer to
Yeah.
proximity to whiteness. I think that's the simple appetizer and 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 step into why we get with anyone white. It's for more power. I think the reason why a lot of black women, after dealing with black men, going through the trauma bonding they deal with black men, is number one, to get away from that cycle of trauma bonding. Like getting in a relationship with a black person or a human being that has the same trauma as you is overwhelming for them. And then when you're going through the trauma bonding as a black woman, feeling like you have no power to really heal, that you have to always like help this other person, heal from their trauma, and who's going to help you? So then they pivot. And he ain't got his stuff together. I'm always helping him, and he's in power, and he makes more money. He got to tell me what to do. I got to submit to him, blah, blah, blah. Man, I'm out of here, man. I'm about to get me a white boy. Because with a white boy, when I come into it, I can pull several cards with him. The 2 most important cards I can pull with a white boy is I can pull the race card. say something out of pocket. I dare you. It's because you're racist. You're internalizing it. It's a microaggression. Number two, I'm going to pull the gender card with you. It's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm a Black woman. Okay. Next thing you know, they got this Black boy backpedaling. He's scared to do anything. And now they're in a power position, which they always wanted to be in with a Black man. Now they get to call the shots. Because if he say anything, I'm pulling the card. I'm weaponizing my oppression against him.
I feel like the same thing can apply in a mixed race or interracial relationship. Their patriarchy, feeling like the person you're dating and the person that you're with can never relate to you on a cultural level. So those things come up. Sometimes you go to your white counterpart, they don't want to introduce you to their family because you are obviously a different race and they're embarrassed to a degree. I just feel like it's another trauma bonding situation. It's not really. There's definitely pros and cons to both, but I don't know anyone of my friends, maybe one, my cousin, and I don't know very many people who deal with someone of the another race. I don't know. So I feel like I agree with Precious that I feel like it's a lot of vanity. The things that I typically hear are I would like much rather, especially for men who want to date white women or outside of their race in general. Black women are complicated. They remind me too much of my mother. I don't want my kids to come out black and dark skinned like I did. And those are pretty much the only reasons. I don't hear anything in favor, so to speak, of why, like, what are the pros? I don't hear it.
Yeah, I mean, but both things can be true. It could be the same thing. I don't think anyone goes into a relationship and breaks things all the way down like I did or what you did, but it still happens on a latent level. And if Black men, now, if you want to create safe places for Black men to express themselves, be vulnerable, and state how they feel. So if a Black man says the reason why I get what I'm repulsed or I'm getting away from Black women is based on how my Black mother treated them, why wouldn't we trust that? If we're supposed to be creating safe place for Black men to feel, heal, build, and grow and be vulnerable. If he's vulnerable, he ain't breaking no one's neck, he ain't throwing stuff, he ain't cussing no one out. He's just saying simply from my heart, I have been traumatized by my mother, therefore I don't want to be with
a Black woman. And that,
Black woman.
you know what?
I think it's the generalizing for me.
Why not trust that? Why not trust that to lead to another more enriching and enlightening conversation of what did your mama do to you?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think it's the overgeneralizing and feeling like you had that one experience and now you feel all Black women are going to be the same way and that all white women would never treat you the same way is
I think that's very dismissive. You said you had that one experience. We're talking about the most important experience in your life when it comes to relationship, and that is the relationship with one of your parents.
Fair enough.
That's just like saying Black women saying, man, you know, my black father not being there really traumatized and that really hurt me. Therefore, I have some triggers when I'm around Black men. And to me coming in and saying, hey, sis, come on, man, that's just one Black man.
But let me chime in. There are Black women who have done spin, but I'm thinking Black women still are open to date Black men though. Most Black women still are not.
Wait, hold on. Can you say that one more time? I didn't catch that. Say that one more time.
I said Black women do have trauma by their Black father, whether he's not present or whatnot. But Black women are still open to date Black men. Most Black women still are not trying to really date out there, right? They still want to date. They still desire and would prefer a Black man, even despite the fact of the trauma of their Black father, whether he was present or not. They are still open to do so. They still want to find that. Huh?
You know why I think they do that?
Why you think so?
Proximity to power.
For Black men?
No. Black women continue to date Black men because it's the closest proximity to power that they have. And they're like, I'm going to deal with this because
power means
this is the closest that I have for power when it comes to access to resources. You ain't never seen a black woman go from one abusive black man to another abusive black man because the first abusive black man got his butt whooped by the second abusive black man, but they was all abusive black men. She continued to be with black men because of the proximity to power. If she had access to white men, then she would have more options.
I would agree with you only on the level of proximity to power, is meaning self-preservation of your race, building a family, building a legacy. That's the only. I don't agree with you on in the way that you just
what kind of I kind of see what you're talking about. Like, what kind of power are we looking for? Like, what
let me put things in perspective of the example I gave you. The power to protect yourself. Say, for instance, Malika is dating Jerome. Jerome is
these names. My name is Danielle and I'm black.
Okay, all right. Don't get caught up in the names. Stay focused.
I get it.
I feel like I'm in the classroom now. Okay, stay focused. Malika is dating Jerome. Jerome is going up beside Malika's head. Malika goes to the grocery store and meets Tariq. Tariq said, "Oh man, what's up, boo?" Da 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 da. Tries to holler at her. She said, "Oh, I'm in a relationship with Jerome, but you know he ain't crap." Da 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 da. Oh, no man should be treating you like that, right? Tariq goes, approaches Jerome, blah blah blah. You know, gets Malika. Then Malika goes with Jerome. Goes with Tariq. Why? Why did she go with Tariq? Because he promised to give her the power of protection, safety, and security. He could treat her better. He dirty macked her. That's what he did. He talked stuff about Jerome so bad, and Tariq dirty mapped Jerome. And then once he gets with Malika, what do he do? Start going upside her head. She playing musical Negroes now.
I don't think that
happens all the time.
It happens, yes. But
okay,
also
that's all I wanted to know.
Okay, another reason why I think men
I'm not delusional.
outside of their race is because black women will hold them to a high standard. That kind of situation happens very few far and in between, in my opinion. We are very hit and privy to the fact that you are dirty macking and go take that mess somewhere else. And here is the hand. And so because we hold them to a high standard, they don't want to deal with that. And they much rather go somewhere else where it's a lot easier to do that dirty macking and pull the wool over somebody else's eyes.
It's funny we talk about the power dynamics or whatnot, because it kind of makes me wonder now. It's the reason for the small group of black women who do date out and to get with black men is because there's no power dynamic, because she's aware that him being a white man, he got all the power simply because he's white and he is a man. And her being a non-white woman and she's a woman, of course, she's a black one, double minorities. There's no reason for a power dynamic, because I guess maybe in their mind they already know he has it because of his social stance in society.
Well, let's talk about Jeannie Mai and Jeezy too.
About those two, like I said, those two didn't do their homework. And Jeannie Mai, I hate to say this, she played herself. Sorry, girl, you played yourself.
What do you mean by that? You keep saying because he didn't do his homework.
Because she didn't do her homework.
He should have did.
Because the thing is, like I said earlier in the show, I don't know if I said it when the camera was rolling or not, but a person, you not only need to examine somebody's past, you need to look at their patterns. Jeezy obviously had a pattern of not marrying the women he birthed children with. Mm-hmm. I think he had 3 other women, I believe he said.
Are they black women?
Huh?
Black.
I believe they're all black.
Black women.
Yes. I believe they're all black. So that's just me as a woman now. If I see a man with that sort of track record, he's not somebody I want to get involved with. because that pattern tells me you're not much into commitment too much, and you are creating single mother homes, which probably in a sense, which probably, by the way, you probably one of those people who, I don't know him that well, I don't know Jeezy, but you probably one of the people who have an issue with single mothers, but you probably are the one contributing to it. And me being associated with this type of person, more than likely you're going to do me the same way, because you obviously didn't take accountability for the other ones. And that's why I was saying, when he was on that show talking, I said this whole time he talked about what was done to him and all the other stuff, I have not once heard him take any accountability for the things that he has done.
Mm-hmm.
But as a homie said on one of my posts, said, you know what, that's what cheaters do. They don't ever want to take accountability. They'll go and get their story out to get people on their side, when in fact, the majority of the time, they probably cause it themselves. So Jeannie Mai did not, she probably did do her homework, or let's just say she did do her homework. She thought she was the exception to the rule, which I find so ironic, because that marriage only lasts 2 years. She only was married to Jeezy 2 years and had a child come out of that. Compared to the white man she was with him for like over 10 years or something like that. 10, 12 years she was
Right.
married. How much?
Yeah, that's right. Accurate.
Yeah.
Also, Jeannie Mai did not want to have children, and then here she is. Again, she didn't do her homework. Here she is now in a situation where Jeezy has a repeated pattern of, again, making single moms, and now she's the fourth baby mama.
Yeah.
From someone who did not want to ever.
She
was very steadfast on not wanting to ever have
I
kids.
want to clarify something real quick.
Go ahead.
What is wrong with single mothers?
Nothing. I'm a single mom.
Okay. Wait. So
I just want to follow the red flags.
Just wait. Okay, all right. Just wait. I just want to let you know, from the outside looking in, someone could be listening to this and observing this and thinking that there's something wrong with Black single motherhood, because you're making it seem like she should have did her homework. He creates Black single mothers. It doesn't sound like a positive thing to be a Black single mother.
Well, let's not act like that this community don't have a disdain towards single mother. Why we as a people on this panel probably don't have nothing against single mother. Let's not act like that's not a spoken talking point in our community about so many Black single mothers, because we still, in our community, we still put marriage on a high pedestal. We do.
No, I just think that it makes the assumption that the Black woman in that situation. Here's the deal. I think a lot of times when we start talking about Black single motherhood, we start really profiling Black women as victims. And I think that there are a lot more Black women out there than we like to think and speak on, that didn't want to be with the man they with, that they had a child with. There's a lot of women that operate like an Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when we say he's creating Black single mothers, I think it takes away the initiative that the women, could have had in this situation, because we don't know. It's like, I just didn't want to be with you. Like, I like your financial wealth, I like your looks, I like your genes, but I had never had any intentions to be with you.
Okay, that's fair, but I think I'm putting emphasis on the fact that Jeannie Mai never wanted to have a child.
I know. I'm just going before that, though. I'm just going back. I just wanted to contextualize that and make sure that we're being responsible when we're talking about single motherhood, because it's really coming across as, and it's not a reach, it's coming across that it's a negative thing. No, like, he's out to just creating single mothers.
Kudos to single moms who do sometimes just much rather deal with the children, and again, back to that trauma bonding situation. I much rather get away from that situation because it's not conducive or healthy for me and my growth. So there are a lot of single moms that much rather take on the responsibility and are very happy and content doing so. But to see a pattern of a man who has 3 baby moms, and then you don't want to have children, and for some reason you allowed yourself to now get in this marriage and have a child, that is kind of a red flag. You let your guard down, and a very hard boundary that you set for yourself, because she was very headstrong on not wanting to have children. Even so much so that I think that was also the reason why she's no longer in that first marriage. He got out that marriage and immediately had a child. So, and now she's in a marriage with this man, and that didn't last long. 2 years later, and you have a child. I wonder just what goes on in her mind. Does she have any kind of regret at all? Beautiful baby.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to know, is it okay to call Black women baby moms? I thought it was derogatory.
I mean, it probably is
a
derogatory term, but I have not seen another word besides mother of my children, because I tend to notice people tend to use that if they were once married to the mom, but even then they still call people who are no longer their wives as baby mamas. So in all realness, while I'm not saying it's derogatory or not, I don't know if there's an alternative word for it.
In full transparency, I used to criticize people who use that word until I became one. And one of the things that someone said to me, I made a post about it and everything a couple of years ago. And she said, at the end of the day, I am a baby mama. That's what I am. So I think that we put the negative connotation on it. It's just a word, but
okay.
What other word would you? Mother of the children.
Yeah. But
I like the term procreator.
But that's a really good question that could be asked in general, though. What's the problem with it? Because I think we tend to make it a negative notion. I'm not about single moms, and I'm not. I mean, single moms kind of be blamed for a lot of stuff. They blame for how a lot of young males are in prison. They blame why certain daughters behave a certain way. Let's not act like people don't blame single moms for why they think the community is the way it is. I think it's deeper than that. I don't think it's about single moms in all realness. I think, in person, I would say single moms kind of probably helping the community stay afloat to some extent.
Yeah, that's that clumsy pseudoscience.
Yeah, it is that real clumsy shit, and
that's clumsy.
Yeah. I mean, and the sad part about it is that some women who are married feel like they single mothers in a marriage.
Mm.
I've been hearing that a lot in the past year. I don't, and I had to ask women what that means. They feel like they doing everything within their marriage, all that they do have a husband.
If single moms was the problem and the reason why, it always going to come back down to the co-creator in the situation. It's going to come down to the person who donated the sperm. And that's the reversal on that. That's the problem. You can go back and forth.
Yeah, it always go that.
We do this. See, this is what we do. This is what we do in our community. If we're not blaming single moms, then we're blaming deadbeat dads.
Mm. Single moms and deadbeat dads is different, but they don't look.
Yeah, I think it's a different turn of what their position is.
If we're not blaming the single mom for doing a horrible job of raising the child by themselves, having, multiple partners and boyfriends and leaving the kids alone and being on crack cocaine while she was pregnant, we're blaming the dad for not being there to help her. It's a ping pong game. Never ending. No one ever wins that game. Because you can just keep blaming. When the reality of it is, we just got to change our value system and how we see each other. Because I don't see there anything wrong with single moms, single dads. I've been a single dad before. I thought it was beautiful. It felt like freaking freedom on the other side of marriage. I loved it. God.
Yeah.
But is it ideal?
For me, hell yeah. It's way more ideal than being in a toxic marriage that was killing you and taking years off your life.
Yeah, but not ideal. Like, you would much rather be in a union with a healthy marriage and children, right?
Depends on what your access to resources are.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I would not be able to be in a dysfunctional, toxic marriage. That's what marriage means to a lot of people, especially women. It means being in a situation where you are in that relationship, not because you love the person, not because they treat you right, because you have a closer proximity to resources and power.
Absolutely. I mean, I even made a post about that. Probably sometime last month. I said I think people get in marriages just for clout purposes. I don't think they get into because they truly want to have a union with the person that they're in a partnership, in a marriage with. I don't think they do it for, for the sake of their children. I don't think they do. I don't think they do it for anything. And I hate to say this, but I'm sorry, Black women, you prove it every day to me. Y'all getting these married just so you can clout and stun on single women. But the thing is, later, a lot of times than not, the joke is on you. A lot of time, the joke is really on you. It ain't on me or women like myself or any other single mother. The joke is really on you. Because half of y'all look like a straight fool out here.
Suffering in
I
silence.
see Black men doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, they definitely do the same thing.
Unfortunately, the funny thing is, I see Black men do the same thing.
They
Just
do.
be with a woman so they can stun on single dudes like me, and act like they better than me, and they got their stuff together when they going home to some man.
Oh, and the men do it to the women too.
I've done that.
Yeah, and that's why I say, and I always clap back. You are not as happy in your marriage as you claim you are because you want to be in single people business.
We especially see that in the church. We see that in the mosque. You know how they be, single shaming people.
Oh, absolutely. I get single shame all the time in my family.
Still ain't married. Still shacking up.
but
real quick, I'm about to touch on something real sensitive. We got 10 more minutes. We probably have to have. I always say this, man. We're gonna have to have a part 2, but for real. But this has been a good conversation. I've enjoyed myself. It's always dope to be, co-hosting with such intelligent people that ask really good questions and stuff. But what if Jeezy and her got together and had children? Because people change their mind for the blend.
Mixed race, baby.
Like eugenics.
The blazing is a thing.
Like there is a fetish for mixed babies though, so it's not surprised there is a fetish for that, and that's another reason that some of them will do it. Some of them will do it. That's why I go back to what I was saying. Some them do not like the way they look, and they don't want to see a replica of themselves. So why not go and have their own little experiment and create their own baby with a woman that does look nothing like them and create this child?
Yeah, I don't think that applies here, because she has been sexually assaulted. She has documentaries and she talks a lot about that. So her attachment to not wanting to have kids runs very deep. And I'm just taken aback that after 2 years, she had that hard boundary and she got talked out of her. I think she really fell in love and she really thought, she was really convinced that it was going to be something long term. So I don't think it was the desire to have mixed babies. I think maybe their union too came together maybe because it was a business deal. Going back to, like you said, Asian families typically marry differently and wanting to do it because of a business deal. And I think same thing with Jeezy. Like, this is a good look for me, a good step up in my career. Maybe that is more of the truth. But I don't think the fact that they wanted to have
I was just talking about period, though.
Period.
Off the celebrity thing, what do y'all think about a person marrying another person? Not necessarily just because they want a certain type of look. What do you actually think about that, though? Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, you talking about in terms of optics?
Is it toxic? Is it? What you think?
Like in terms of like people marrying things for optics, like for images purposes.
Yeah, like I want a baby that looks like this.
I think
a lot of them do. A lot of people do it. Like, yeah, that's honest. I mean, I said before on the show that the true origin of marriage is a business.
No, but Danny says she thinks it's sick. Why do you think it's sick? Did you say that right?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay.
I think there's something deeply rooted. So yeah, if you have a desire, I think there are even people that will go to the clinic and say, I want blue-eyed baby. I want my baby to look like this. Can you manipulate so that I have a baby that looks like this? I think there's something deeply rooted there because why not just be content with having a healthy baby? Why are you trying to make your baby and want to be with someone only because they're a lighter hue? I don't.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Time out. Light is not the only option here. A lighter hue. And And let's take the health of the baby off the table, because I think I didn't say it, but that should be for granted. Like I think all of us, the majority of people want a healthy baby. So let's take that off the table. So it would be wrong if it's sick and it's wrong if I purposely go out and seek a darker skinned Black woman because
I will ask what.
Wait, let me finish. Can I just finish? Because I want my children to be darker, and I want to darken up the gene pool.
Why? Tell me more about that.
Because I like melanin, and there's benefits to having more melanin, and I like the look. I like strong African, indigenous, Aboriginal features.
Okay. What's
her name? I wouldn't get with a white woman.
What's Tomb Raider's name? What's her name?
Who?
Tomb Raider.
Laura Croft. Laura Croft.
Yeah, she went and got all those black babies, as did Madonna.
Oh, you talking about Angelina Jolie?
Angelina Jolie. So to your point, she clearly wanted to get black babies, probably for that same reason, and I think that there's something wrong with that.
I think it could be a better. I think it is a point of me personally, at least for me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Wayman asked me the other day. I don't know if I want kids. Kids, what I'm saying, it depends on what day you ask me. Along with me, it depends on what day you ask me. Because to be honest with you, if you asked me when I was 23, 24, I'm like, yeah, sure. But now at 33, I have a different perspective because I know with children, I'll be making a lot of sacrifices that I'm not sure if I'm open to make a permanent sacrifice. I mean, some people may call me selfish. You call it whatever you want to call it, but I'm smart enough to know I don't think this is the attachment I want to do, because if I were to birth a child, I'll be stuck to that man, even regardless of me and him no longer together. So that's why I say, if I were to get married into this lifetime, I want to make sure I actually like this person. Like this person actually checked the boxes for me comfortable. But again, in terms of kids, it never dawned on me, how my kids would look. Cause I said, well, I'm a good looking person, so my kids gonna turn out looking good regardless. So, but that's just my mindset of how I looked. I never looked at it as, I'm gonna give it this man because he got some nice hair, and he got some nice eyes too, and them nice teeth. I'm gonna give it this dude and make some babies. But it never occurred to my mind like that.
I think that's a healthy.
I think this is all cap, man.
Honestly, don't.
I think that's a healthy perspective.
I never crossed my mind.
You know why I think this is all cap?
Why?
It might be cap on accident. It's because y'all trying to say that y'all don't look at a person and mate with them and look at them like and have sex with them based on their attractiveness and their facial features. You're not gonna be just having sex.
But my thing is, what's the likelihood
you think it's ugly?
No,
of course with physical attractiveness, but I want a person to say, I'm getting caught with my kids to look like this person.
Yeah, that's way different.
It never occurred to my mind. It never occurred to me like that.
But that's where it's rooted. That's just the next step.
No.
I don't know about that. I don't know about. I don't think. Of course, we all date people based on who we're physically attractive to, but I don't know. For me, I never thought that far. Say,
well, you know what? I will say this.
Okay.
We do tend to, when we look at other couples, we do tend to say, "Oh, they will make some beautiful babies."
Okay.
But I don't.
So y'all just be sleeping with people that's unattractive to you, physically unattractive.
No, but you are trying. No,
I don't say I'm having sex with you because you're so attractive that we're gonna make gonna make a beautiful baby. I don't
do that out of pure. We make beautiful kids together. No,
yeah,
I never thought of that far. I never thought that far like that.
Okay.
I never, even with the dude I with the 6 year, I never thought that. Oh, me and him make some pretty babies.
Maybe you feel that way because that's exactly how men think.
Maybe.
No,
I don't think that far.
No, that's how human beings think. That's how women think too. If you study science,
that's different for me. I've never
women and female animals and beings select their mates based on their characteristics. This could be seen with peacocks. This is why they have different colors. This is the reason why men adorn themselves a certain way. But I'm just saying, if that's not how
sexual attraction, yes, but I don't know.
If that's not how your profile is set up, then it's not how your profile. But I'm letting you know that people, that's very natural for someone to do what Erykah Badu did. It's very natural to be like, I want Jay Electronica, I want Andre 3000, and I want the DLC. And when they asked her, they were why? She said, because they're brilliant. And it just doesn't stop with musical intelligence. They're good-looking men too.
That's fair. That's new to me.
I mean,
women like to have sex with
She's great out there.
And it's based on their looks are indicators of the genes that they have and what they're going to co-create with you. That's just a fact.
So I have
why ugly dudes money to get what good-looking guys get that they can't get. We talk about this all the time. We know that there are certain men with money who we see are unattractive, who have a lot of women around them, would not have all those women if they didn't have all that money. The money makes them attractive.
Sure. But do you think that she having kids with him because he was attractive? No, she's doing it out of because he has money. That creates a stability or security to that man.
And I'm trying to tell you,
I don't think she's doing it because because that baby gonna look like him.
Right, and I'm telling you, attractiveness is capital. Human beings are having sex with other people and having babies because they're attractive. It's very natural.
Are you talking about? I guess I would refer in terms of physical appearance. A character in terms of their like who they are as individual, sure. But I thought we were talking about physical characteristics. It don't really cross my mind.
Absolutely, like physical characteristics too. Yes.
I will say, yes, I agree with you, but I did not go as deep to say the physical attraction that I have of this man is also the reason I want to have sex with him because he's physically attractive and also because I want to have beautiful babies with him. I did not think it went that deep.
I never thought that way either. I never, I don't think, maybe subconsciously, but I don't think that far away. I don't think that far.
In the case of Precious, she don't even want to have kids, and she still want to be,
I would guess there are a lot of people that are like y'all and be like, I'm just going to have sex with this person and roll the dice of what the kid's going to look like.
Because here's my thing. Let's just say I do. What's the odds of them still really coming out pretty all the time, though? Genetics are something else. Genes work very.
So is it self-hate when your kid doesn't come out as attractive as you I was hoping for or pictured?
I don't know. That's not the situation. I have to think about that because that's not my situation. I have to think about that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we wonder. Like
my children, my children look good.
Kids come out looking
your children are beautiful. So you clearly went into it wanting beautiful children.
Absolutely.
I think that's a male thing. I don't know.
I'm gonna
ask. Okay, it's scientific, but I don't think women are like, "Oh yes, he is so fine, and we're gonna have beautiful babies." I don't think
there probably is some women like that, but I don't think we're. What
do y'all think out there? You think it's just a male thing that just guys are only ones to do that?
Women date anything. Yeah. Just they see past your ugly, big nose, unibrow self.
And apparently, women do too if there's enough money involved.
Okay, then. So that means it's not based on. Okay, then. So it's not really based on if they're gonna have beautiful babies. They worry about the resources that men have.
No. She's just talking about sex now. She's just not talking about sex. It can go either way, though. It can go either way. People have sex because a person has money and resources, and people have sex with people because they think they're gonna have good babies with them. This is not complicated.
And let's not act like we don't know men who actually have admitted that they have sex with women they don't even find attractive, don't even like.
And you haven't had the same thing happen with women? You haven't heard that from women?
Okay.
So then, does that mean women are not every woman going out making a baby because they want to have beautiful babies? Then they doing it for other reasons outside of that.
I know. Hold on. Wait. Time out. You're being very binary. When this is
no, it's not. You just
No, wait. There are people that have sex with people because they looking at them and said they're attractive. I want my babies to have those characteristics. That's all I'm
Sure.
saying. And then
Okay,
there's
fine.
other people who have different reasons for having sex. All I'm saying is this is not a male or female or woman or man or whatever thing. This is a human being thing where people look at people and say, I want to have sex with them because I want them to have that skin color, that hair, that nose, whatever.
Sure, but would you say subconsciously a lot of it had to do with the social norm in society?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's people
Okay,
running
yeah.
around in Africa with plates in their lips. Someone show up at your job with a plate in their lip, you're gonna be like, "What? You good? You get hit in the face with a frisbee?"
So yeah, absolutely. But I do think subconsciously, I think a lot of the social systematic norms in our society played a role in that.
Yeah.
Like texturism, like colorism, stuff that I believe. Yeah, some kind. I think a lot of that do play a big role in. Even racism, a lot of that do play a role in it.
So in that case, I would
Even
go
in
back
more
to
ways than
say
we want to
that
admit.
I don't
there's
think
some
it's sick,
sickness there. Then I would go back and say there because the root issue is because of how you're perceived in society, and it's not a healthy mindset to have. So I feel like it's still some sickness if you want children just based on how they look because you feel that gives you access or better resources or a better life
or
because of your experiences, you need to do some healing.
or it could be to preserve the race too.
Maybe.
That's why I would do it.
I mean, that you know what? It's interesting we're talking about this because that remind me of what's that dude named Ocho Cinco dude? I remember him saying some time ago that he specifically had baby with only black women because he wanted to make sure that he had strong kids.
He did say something like that.
Something in the midst of that. I said that's very interesting
women.
that he said that.
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I'm like, that's weird, but
I think human beings.
Okay, go ahead.
What was I about to say? What was I about to say?
You're just gonna go back and say the same thing you already said, but go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead. I'm so tired, but go ahead.
I hear you. That's when you get tired, you think that you could just predict people's thoughts, huh? You just be like, my superpowers come out.
I'm just getting beside myself. That's all.
I think human beings would be further along in addressing a lot of their unresolved issues if they just really accept and acknowledge and understand we're just highly advanced animals.
Okay.
And a lot of the stuff that you see animals doing that you think are beneath you or inferior to you, we're just the same thing, just in a more sophisticated version. Just like I said, like with the peacock. There's a reason why their feathers look the way they do.
Yeah, to attract to trap the female.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We seem to forget that we started off as tadpoles. We didn't come out. I mean, we didn't start like this. We evolved. This is highly advanced evolution in 9 months, which probably took hundreds of thousands of years to do. But we started off as tadpoles.
So part 2 is did we derive from gorillas? That's what I want to know.
You know, my brother
why would we talk about that?
I know my brother.
Based on what you just said,
that we came from tadpoles.
I think a part 2 would be connected more to interracial dating, just a different aspect of it. I don't really think if you want to talk about if we came from gorillas or not.
No, I'm playing, but based on what you just said, we need to realize you just summed up our conversation too. Humans need to realize we are just evolved animals. And so there are people out there who believe that we also derived from gorillas. And so I was being funny, but it is a conversation worth having if you want to take it there.
I know my brother said something about, I think the black race, I think we the only race that doesn't carry a certain gene that everybody else does. I forgot. I think it's the Neanderthal gene, whatever gene that.
No, I think we're talking about the Eve gene. The
Mhm.
Eve gene that they say is in the mitochondrial DNA of Black women. I think that's what you're talking about.
Shout out to Henrietta Lacks.
I mean, it was something else. It wasn't necessarily it's about something else. Like something about our race. It makes it so we're so distinctively different from everyone else. I probably need to find it. I probably need to hit him up. It's 12:10. He probably went to bed. I hit him up tomorrow. But it was something about that. I said very interesting. We don't have those same genes, but
The action plan. The action plan to interracial dating.
No, I mean, just based on what we talked about today, what would you think is the plan of action based on what we talked about today? Like as we move forward.
We need to heal, stop trauma bonding, and possibly step out of our race.
I'm gonna say this,
and
I'm glad we brought up the word healing, and I didn't say it during the show, but I think we are misusing the word healing. I don't think, or at least I don't think we're using it correctly, because healing is learning, and learning is healing. And I don't think anyone can truly heal unless they are learning and understanding their circumstance or their situation. Like some wounds can be healed by time, and I think some wounds can be healed by learning and understanding. With that being said, again, as I said in the beginning, I honestly don't have an issue with interracial dating. I really don't. However, I would say before you embark on it, you need, just as if you're dating within your own race, you probably need to do the same homework that you have within your race with whoever person you're getting with, regardless who that is. And you need to also make sure, is it really what you want to do, or are you looking at it as an escape from your community just to get away from it? Do you really want to do this? That's why the whole Johnathan Majors situation is kind of strange that he said that. It was like, it's interesting. These are your standards that you hold her to, but this woman's nowhere like it. That's why I said I think there's a disconnect with them. I don't know what it is, but there's a disconnect up there. And I think as long as those type of disconnects is available, I think those type of issues will always cause a ruckus in your relationship. As for Black women, I do want Black women to start exercising their options. It's just there may be a great possibility the person you look. I know this is a Black community building show, but I also have to be realistic and pragmatic about it. You may want to start exercising your options if you're not finding what you're looking for in a partner. I ain't saying you need to. I'm just saying, just you may want to see what the problem is if you're not finding love or you're not finding what you're looking for in a relationship. And that's my take. Go ahead, Logic.
Mm-hmm. I think the plan of action is to create realistic, effective value systems to address trauma.
Mm.
And we don't do that. We don't have that. I think another way to look at it, one way to look at it is say, hey, brothers, you might just have to go dating out of your race because these Black women are this to that. Sisters, you might want to have to go date outside your race because these brothers is this, that, and the third. I think that we need to create these spaces where we develop and maintain value systems to deal with our trauma. One of the places that we have to do that, one of the examples is like the church. Right? You feel me?
It's a lot of appearing in the church, but I'm not going to be part of that battle. That's one.
Yeah, that's another hour conversation.
It's not another hour because you didn't let me finish. The church has such a long history of failing us and criticism and negative commentary that maybe it's run its course for a lot of people. So what I'm saying is, let's create something like a church that is an example, that doesn't have the shaming, that doesn't have a commitment or endorsement of a singular God, monotheism and blah blah blah. Take religion out of there, take God out of there, and just deal with the basic principles of how you treat each other, and teaching that to the children of how you address trauma as a child. Because the reason why we don't know how to address trauma as an adult is because our parents failed to teach us how to do it when we were children. So why we keep doing the same thing over and over again, like a hamster in a wheel, is quite insane, literally, because we're expecting a different outcome. So part of that, a perfect example of the plan of action, if a brother or sister says, man, I'm gonna start dealing with these white folks or these white women or these white dudes, these Asian dudes, these Asian women, because black men have done this, black people have done this, is that we have some kind of value system that's set up that first and foremost listens to their pain, listens to their hurt, and be like, oh, that's not usually what we do. What we usually do is we play ping pong and try to prove them wrong and say something. Well, black men do it more than white women, but then Serena Williams then got her a white boy and did it, and then we just talk about Eve and we talk about all these little Kim with Scott Storch, and we start going on these whole man. We just need to sit back and listen and be like, dang, well that's why you feel that way. That's how you grew up. That's deep, and then just go from there. If someone want to be with a white person or an Asian person because they say they heard, okay.
Yeah.
And then you share what you want to be with. However, at the same time, we should be creating opportunities for people to date within their race. But we don't do that too many times. We just sit there and criticize what that person is, but we don't be like, well, I'm setting something up for single people to meet other black folks that, don't have a criminal record that goes against every single stereotype that you have against black folks. And we're meeting there at this time. We usually don't do that. So that would be my plan of action. It's a lot of hard work, though, to do that. But it really just starts with listening and not passing judgment and not trying to shame someone. That's what I think. Well, this has been Seed Talk. I would love to hear what y'all got to say about what we talked about tonight. Get into the comments. There's plenty of opportunities for y'all to jump in and be scribing in the comments. I'm really looking forward to see what y'all's writing. Oh, look what he's writing. Look what Malika's writing. Look what Fundisha
I'm correct.
and Tariq is writing. Oh my God, can you believe they said that? Okay.
Let me just say this. Ain't no white woman being on Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King. I want to end it on that. Ain't gonna happen.
Shout out.
Ain't gonna happen.
Johnathan Majors and the record. That sounds like an R&B group or R&B band. Johnathan Majors and the recordings.
Oh my God.
Hey, again, I want to encourage everyone to donate to Seed Talk and whatnot. I want to encourage everyone to come out to the kickback that we have December 16th at the Jackson Street Apartments. We got food, we got drink, we got music, we got networking. We're going to be playing some games and whatnot. And definitely come out to the Grill Party Experience January 13th. Get your free ticket via Eventbrite. Doors open at 8 p.m. Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. They're going to go fast. They're already going fast. It's almost sold out. Make sure you get your tickets. And we out. Love y'all. Peace, 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 peace.